Hello, everyone. We are here with Robin Joy for our part two of our watercolor series. And today she will be painting Field of Flowers.
Ta-da!
Yes, and this is absolutely beautiful. You can see the texture she created in the sky as well as a field. And if I zoom in on the flowers, you can see the variation of color. So this is absolutely beautiful, especially because it is springtime, but it's wonderful for any time of year. So I will let her get started.
Okay. So with your brushes, I'll hold this up so I'll say it, but you can see it as well. Pink is your round brush. Okay, that's the round. And we're going to be predominantly using this. Green is your, your filbert. Yes, it is. And purple is for the liner. So we're going to get started with mixing our colors. We learned that last week. So hopefully we have a spoon. The colors we'll be using is the yellow here, which is like a golden yellow. This orange, which is where these highlights are coming in at. Let's see, where else are we going? Oh yeah, this blue, which I really like that blue. And it's somehow, it looks dark here, but when you put it on here, it's not so very dark. The blue, this green, and I think that's it. Seems like there should be another green. Yeah, this green. Yeah, there we go. So I'm saying it, but of course I'll be demonstrating it. So don't get your knickers in a knot. You know, we're gonna do this. Okay, so we learned, get your spoon. Okay, and since we're going to be using a lot of yellow, I'm going to fill in 2 compartments. Maybe a little more. Let's see. Let's fill in that orange, which is this orange right here, second from the end. So you know what, while I'm doing it, let's do it like that. Instead of just filling them all in right now and becoming confused. So for me, this is like the most time consuming because it's like, it's a little monotonous, but you have to do it, right? You want your colors, you got to do it. And this gives you time, and it's just roughly, we learned last week to do it about 6 times per compartment or a bubble, whatever you want to call it, filled with water. And this way you don't have to do this again. That's why I'm doing the 2 compartments of the gold. And if it spills on the side, that's okay. Sometimes life spills on the side.
Mhm.
And remember, this is for the sake of fun. So we're not going to be worrying about, oh, mine doesn't look like Robin's looks. Mine is different. I don't like the way, you don't want to do the same thing I do. We're all different. Everybody's created different. Nobody is the same. Absolutely nobody. If you have twins, you know that your twins are not the same. They might look identical, but they still have their own mind. So remember, you have your 2 cups of water. These are my official fancy dancy Dixie cups that look like they had a hard life, but hey, these are my ride or dies. So that's what I use. So you have 2 cups of water. 1 is to get the color out. 2 is to make sure the color is out, and I'm still seeing some yellow on this. So, okay. Now we're gonna go to the orange, which is like a reddish orange, and it's right here. So it's almost at the end, not exactly at the end, but almost at the end. There you go. So I already have some old paint in here that I was using from last night. And what I do with my set, when I have extra, I let it sit out overnight till it dries. So you can look at mine and see we had a lot of drying time with my paint set. But yeah, I let it sit out and dry so I can use it later on. Just add water to it and the color will come back. And that's really about enough of that because you're not using a whole lot of this. Okay, what's our next color? Let's go to this one. So we get the clean water. And go here, right? Okay, and so we're gonna do our blue, and I really like this blue. And strangely enough, I have not used it very often, but I decided to use it because my other blue that I love so much right next to it is just about gone. So I said, well, let's try something else. Okay, this green. And I'm just mixing it first because I already have some residue in there from earlier. Yeah, and I'm looking at it as like, maybe I'm putting a little bit too much water in here because it seemed to be spilling over to the side. But hey, that's between me and you. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, so we're gonna have a good time painting today. Getting this stuff out the way to just, have something we can look at and say, oh, wow, look how blessed I was to do this. Because I know every time I see something that I've done, it's really kind of, well, it doesn't kind of, it surprises me that I can do this because it's not something I was raised doing. It's not something I desired to do, So to see it and then it just looks so beautiful, it's like, it's just God's grace, it's not me. Okay, we're gonna go to the green right next to it. Which is like a blue-green. Yikes, okay. I'm gonna put that there so I don't get it mixed up. Okay, our last green. Oh, and I did say white, didn't I? And I didn't do the white. We'll see. I don't know if I want to particularly do those clouds or to try something else. We'll see, we'll see. And this is really nice to have this little paint set that has the bubbles right next to it. And we know this is not for the professionals. So any professionals that are watching, hey, don't laugh at our bubbles. Our bubbles are getting us somewhere today. Now what we're going to do, because I'm almost finished, what we're going to do is when we start doing those yellow flowers, while the flower is still wet, we're going to touch it with that orange, and it's going to put a burst. It's going to make it move around. So it's not any particular spot. Like for example, they're not all the orange is not in the same place for all of them. And some of them don't have the orange. Okay, I think that's enough of that. And then hopefully, I was, trying to move slow. So hopefully other people can get it. Because when somebody knows exactly what they want to do, but somebody else doesn't, I know with me, it's like trying to keep up with these videos on YouTube. So here we go. Let's see, do a little rearranging. So we want to try to figure out where we're going to put our flowers. So if we're using this as an example, I have one up here, some more on the side. They're peeking out the sides like, it's in a field and they're just not fully being shown. And then there's some at the bottom, right? And then some here. So you don't have to put them the same exact place. What we're going to do is first, we're going to start with our flower. Now I need you to pay attention to, you're doing your flower and then we're doing the orange. So get your liner ready at all times. You can wet it, put it in your clean water and wet it. And I mentioned before, don't have your, what do you call it? Your paper, okay. Don't have your paper over here near your canvas because you might drip water on it or you might drip paint on it. So I have it over here and this over here. So hopefully it doesn't drip. Might drip, hey. And if it does drip, we'll become creative with it. But if it doesn't have to drip, don't let it drip. Okay. So first we're starting with the yellow, right? And remember to dab to get that excess water off. Right, so let's start with that corner one. So you're putting it at an angle, and it's, let's see, there's a lot of water on that. And they don't all have to be the same size. If you want yours smaller than mine, that's okay. You want yours larger than mine, that's okay. Okay, we got that one. Then we're going straight here, mix it up so you get some pigment on it. Okay, dip it, and then watch that. Bam. Right? That's really cool. I like that. So let's do another one. Let's put this one right on the edge. And hopefully nobody that's watching today feels like they're on the edge, okay? You can have the lines a little squiggly or you can straighten it out. And then here we go. Mix it, dab it, get that extra off. Let's put it at the top. Bam, there we go. I like that. Some more at the bottom, okay. And if you want to, you can progress it up. And then it'll move around as much as it wants to move around because the water moves it. Okay. I want to straighten that out a little bit. Okay, I feel more comfortable with that. Okay, let's do a big one. That's a real big one. All righty. And when you're doing watercolor, sometimes you might have some empty spots in there. Like you see, I don't know if they can see that, Dawn, where there's some white I didn't fill in, and that's okay. That just, how you say, makes it appear like it's a shadow or an illumination from the sun. I really like when that happens. I'm just doing any old thing, you know, because we have to be the masters of our masterpiece. Y'all can quote me on that. Be the master of your masterpiece, because these are all masterpieces. Oop. Okay, let's put one down here. Let's see, let's dip you. See, we're doing these in different shapes. So they're flowers, you know, and they're flowers that you're putting on paper. So it's not like it's a flower God created. You can't duplicate that. But you can do this, you know. You can do this and you can feel good about it. And then other people say, wow, Bob Ross's cousin, right? You'd be like, yeah, Bob Ross's cousin. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, go online and see. He's a really dynamic artist. Y'all thought I forgot this one, didn't you? I did. Okay. There we go. And the water just moves that paint around. And you want these different sizes, because if you're in a field, all the flowers are not the same size. Let's do a little one, okay? Here's a little guy. You want to be careful not to put your hands in your paint or your elbow or whatever. You know, that's if you're going to be moving about. Like if you're going back up. So to me, it makes more sense to start at the top and then work your way down. The top of your canvas, that is. Let's go up here. Yeah. Yeah, and it's gonna spread. And you see, they're kind of going at an angle, not a very deep angle, but at an angle. They don't have to. Mine just are. It's as though the wind is blowing them that way. And they don't all have to have the orange. They don't all have to have that. And I'll do one more. And okay. Now, that's done with the yellow, except for here. I want to bring this down some. So it's okay to correct if you feel the need to. Okay, so we're going to give this a little time to dry, and it doesn't take long because it's water. Hey, it doesn't take long. So we'll do that. Eventually, we will be using this liner to make your, what do you call those, stems? And to make this little green part thingy do. So now what we're going to do is, okay, still a little wet, which is okay. Now what I'm going to do is, if you notice, it's kind of like it's on a hill, like the blue is here and it's cascading down, right? And then the rest is going to be the green. And you don't want it a straight line because, hey, there's no fun in that. You want some character to it. So a little up, down, it's a meadow, you know, so it's moving about. Take your brush, right? And we kind of want that angle, right? So some of the flowers are going to be in the sky. Some of the flowers are going to be on the grass. And we do know in real life that flowers are on grass. They're not just floating in the sky. We call this abstract. Okay, I'm just getting the water off the handle. Watch this. You'll be amazed. Don't fall out your chair. Somebody will have to pick you up. I'll start over here in this corner. I'm wetting. Oh, and your paper's going to buckle. That's okay. It's not going to seep all the way through. I'm trying to get my lighting. It's not going to seep all the way through. And what you can do is put it in between two books or something to straighten it out. Some people iron theirs. I've not done that. I don't know how that works. Okay, bam. See how it's moving? And then you help it to move. So you're doing just one area at a time, because I've noticed if you do too much, then it's going to dry and it's going to look, as we say in my house, crickly. I'm going to turn this upside down before I have blue on my yellow. Nobody wants that. We can act like we want it, but we don't want that. And this is a sky. And you notice with skies, it's different colors. The blue is not all the same. So let me see, get some kind of guideline here. How far down I want to go. I want to go like that far down and bring it up, right? And when you start in the area, you gotta kind of move fast. You can see how that's drying already, but that's okay because we're gonna work with it. So you see the different blues. It's the same blue, but the definition is different. And this is what we're gonna do too. We're gonna go around the flower. We're gonna have, okay, you get a close up on this, you'll see there is white where I didn't want to touch the different color with the yellow. So that's what we're doing. We're going around the flower, best as you know how to do, without touching. And you can get close, but don't live too dangerous. Good thing about this watercolor, the water's only going to move where you place it. So if I don't touch this yellow, it's not going to touch. You might be able to see this moving, but it's not going to touch the yellow if I don't touch the yellow with the paintbrush. And you don't have to do squiggly lines. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's just the artist in me. Get some of that blue. Bam. And you can move that blue around. You can go near those flowers. Try not to touch those flowers. And I like this because skies are not all just one color. And if you dab, it will eventually bleed into. And what we're doing with this, or maybe I should say the same thing that we're doing with this blue, we're going to eventually do with the green too. Same technique. How far down do I want to go? We'll go here. You got to be careful because if you pick it up, as in the paintbrush, too fast, it can cause little dots, which is okay for the sky, but you don't want it on your flowers. Any area that you might figure, oh, that's too light, I don't like that. Hey, it's your masterpiece. Come on, master, do your thing. Put a little more water on that. Let's see. I think that's all I want to do with the blue. And I really like that because with the lighter colors, it kind of looks like these are clouds. And so you have the dark blue And then you have the light blue. And now it's time for the green. Same technique, ladies, so make sure you wash your brush. And let's get into that water. Nice, okay. Let's start here. And if you touch the blue, that's okay, it's not a problem. It's your sky. So we're using this lightest color green that we have. And turn your canvas around. You know, you don't have to get bent out of shape. And if you put some water down and it dries, put some more water down. And you see the paper is bending, but that's okay. Like I said, just put it in between two books or lay something flat and heavy on top of it. It'll flatten out. Like I said, some people iron theirs. I haven't tried that. So don't be quoting me on that one. Robin said iron it. I didn't say that. After you let it dry, then you can wet again, but not on the, the same area where it got on the yellow, and you can put your green down. Not something you have to be alarmed about. Let's see what happens if I do that. That's kind of dark. It's not too dark. And we call this, like I mentioned before, abstract. So abstract gives room for a lot of creativity. I wasn't supposed to do that. I'm trying to see where my paint is, where my canvas is wet. You don't have to do that. That's just what I do. And don't be looking to me to, follow all my examples. You have to do what's comfortable for you. If this is comfortable for you, you do that. It's like in life. If we do everything everybody else does, and it's not comfortable, eventually we're going to stop doing that. Okay, I'm going to add some more green because it's grass. So it's not like it's the sky where you can have, well, you can afford to have white spots, but there are some areas where there's grass where of course grass is lighter than other areas. So we need to give this a little bit of drying time. But hopefully you like it so far. I like mine. I'm asking for drying time and I'm still wetting, right? Hey, that's what we do. Okay. So we give this a little bit of drying time, like I mentioned, a few minutes. And then we're going to, we'll start on the grass, okay? Okay, ladies, hopefully you have had time for your canvas to dry. If not, take a break. Take a break, cut this off and give yourself 5 minutes and then cut it back on. Now, hopefully if you had to cut it off and cut it back on, it's dry. Because here we go. We're gonna make the grass. We're gonna do this. All you're doing is you're taking your brush and you're flicking up. But you'll see me as I do it. Let's see, this blue yellow, no, this blue green is, I know my colors, I do. Yeah. Is what your grass is going to be. So it's a little bit darker than this metal. So this is it. Just go bam, 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 bam. Now you go different directions. You cross each other. These are small. These are really small flickers that I'm making, but you can make bigger ones. Like this. And they don't all, and watch your paint because mine just spotted, which is okay. That's life. Life spots sometimes. And you can go over it. You can, to give it a more realistic thing. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but there's green in the clouds now. Just try not to cross over into your flowers. Uh-oh, don't do that one. That was the dark green, and it's not time for that. Yeah, you can go into the sky. Hey, you got flowers in the sky, why not grass? You can cluster your grass if you want to. I'll give you an example of that over here. That's a cluster, right? They're all basically together. You can individualize your grass if you want to. On our lawn, sometimes there's individual grass. That's not complimentary. See, that's where it's not touching each other, but I like the clusters. That's what I like. And if you want to, you can go over areas that you've already done. And have them to cross each other, crisscross, you know, so they're not just looking like something out of nowhere. And that's how grass is. Unless it's like grass on my lawn, you know. And you don't have to do all the areas. You don't have to cover everything if you don't want to. You have a choice. And this is a good hobby to pick up for anybody that's not usually into painting. Wow, okay. I'm impressed. If you get some green spots on your yellow, let me tell you, if you don't tell anybody it's not supposed to be there, they will not know. Unless it's like one of your smart aleck kids and it's like, Ma, why your flower got green spots on it? That's our kids, right? So they're not just straight, they curve. Some are straight, some are curvy. Okay. Now, if you need a little more time later on to fulfill this, okay, you know, finish it up later. I think that's all I'm gonna do. Bop, bop, bop. I'm singing. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I keep saying that, but I keep moving. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna do. All right. So what we're gonna do now, I know it's not dry, but what you're gonna do, whatever area is dry, that's the area we're gonna go to. You're gonna go to. Well, me too. Because now it's time for our stems and our little petals around, because I don't know what else to call it, our little petals around the flower. Take your, what do you call it, your liner brush. Now, okay, like we said last week, if you want a thicker stem, do it thicker. You can use this one. If you want a thinner stem, use your liner brush. That is your choice. So we're gonna stir up this dark green and let's see, I'm gonna test and see if it's dark enough for my taste. I'll start up, okay. It's wet over here on mine. So you go here and then just go, whoop, whoop. There you go, right? So we're gonna do that and then eventually bring down the stems, okay? It can be straight like that. It can have a little curve. Hey, it's your masterpiece, master. Come on now. Bigger flower, bigger, there you go. I just gave him a little stem, but you know, I got a little carried away. Here we go. And there's no right. Well, there's no wrong. I should say there's no wrong. What do you want to do? That green isn't dark enough for me, so bam, it's bleeding. Just like we did with the other stuff, the grass over here, it just bleeds. I'm just getting creative. You don't have to do this. Hmm. Hmm. I like that. This was not in the plan, but hey. Okay. And that'll probably be the only one I do like that. Yes. Being creative. Yeah. So as you can see while I'm painting, I like to be silent. I know on YouTube they talk through these whole things. I'm like, no, I'm trying to concentrate. And which is not to say they're not trying to concentrate, but it's it's a little different for me than it is for them. I need the quiet. Okay, so that's what we got. Looks like some birds flying with flowers on their back. So now it's time for the stem, which is not at all hard. Do I want to start with the bottom stems? Let's start over here because that's easy. We're going to have him come in, or her, yeah. We'll have her just coming out the wall. There you go. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's see. Now some of these will appear to be on top of others. Um, let's see. This is a little loner, so let's just give them a stick. And it doesn't have to come all the way down here. No, not important. Okay. I don't know how smart that was. And I said that because I should be working with the top, coming down in layers. This way your arm doesn't get in stuff. So I'm going to jump over this side. We all have our moments. Okay. All right, let's dry. Okay, we're almost finished. We do need to put some little petals, what do you call those, leaves on. Okay, that's not dry. I'm looking for what's dry and what's not. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Yeah, just figure out where they need to be. I hope this is working out very nicely for you ladies. Okay, you can see right here where it kind of bled to the side. That's where you make a leaf. There you go. Okay, now in the area, I think I got everybody. Now in the areas, I guess the area where you want to. It doesn't have to be all of these flowers. Put your leaves in, just little. Bam, bam, nothing big. You want big, you do big. You don't want big, you don't do big. See, easy. And they don't have to be the same size. Some you might just want to put one on. Some you might want to put two. Some, maybe none. Okay, I think we are finished. There we go. I think I'm going to leave that as is. I like that. I like the blueness of the sky, which also looks like blue clouds in some area. Some whiteness over here, which emulates the cloud. White in between, white around the flowers. Not that the white around the flowers is clouds, because it isn't. It's called abstract. And then you have your grass. I like it. I hope you like yours.
Well, that's beautiful, Robin. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. So this is Field of Flowers, and it feels like a field of flowers, like I could just lay there and
Ooh,
stare at the flowers all day.
that's
Absolutely
all right.
beautiful.
But you got to remember what you have to do. Sign your painting. So I almost forgot. So let's go into it. I'm going to sign mine green. I have a little area right here. Let me tell you something about signing your picture. Ordinarily, you see people sign their picture. It's right here in this little corner. It doesn't have to be, because I have some of mine signed. Oh, green paint. I have some of mine signed all over the place. Now, having said that, I'm going to sign mine right here on this flower. Ooh. My O didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but that's what tissue's for. Let's see if we can just get that without making a mess. So it'll be an enclosed O, which it just did the same thing I tried to clean up. Hey, we'll do that with both of the O's. Because there's no mistakes, there's just creativity. All right, there you go.
All right, another class, water class brought to you by Robin Joy, and it is beautiful. Thank you so much for your time and talent. We appreciate you. Thank you.